Namaste Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtiprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 24, Worshipping Govardhan Hill, text number 20 onwards. So yesterday we studied how Krishna is trying to discourage Nanda Baba from worshipping Indra, and now he would say rather worship Govardhan. Vartit Brahmana Vipro Rajanyo Rakshaya Bhuva Vaishyastu Vartaya Jive Shudrastu Dvija Sevaya. The Brahman maintains his life by studying and teaching the Vedas, the member of the royal order by protecting the earth, the Vaishya by trade, and the Shudra by serving the higher twice-born classes. So earlier he gave the Karma Mimamsa philosophy, that karma is topmost and the demigods, they have to give the results, whatever karma we do. So why worship them separately? But now he is talking differently, Varnashram Dharma. After glorifying karma or work, Lord Krishna now explains what he means by prescribed duties born of one's nature. He was not referring to any whimsical activity, but rather to the religious duties prescribed in the Varnashram or Vedic social system. Krishi Vanijya Goraksha Kusidam Turyamuchyate Varta Chaturvidha Tatra Vayam Govrittayo Anisham. The occupational duties of the Vaishya are conceived in 4 divisions: farming, commerce, cow protection, and money lending. Out of these, we as a community are always engaged in cow protection. Sattvam rajastam iti sthiti utpatti antahetava rajso rajas utpadyate vishvam anyam vividham jagat. The causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction are the 3 modes of nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. In particular, the mode of passion creates this universe and through sexual combination causes it to become full of variety. Anticipating the possible objection that a livelihood based on cows certainly depends on Lord Indra, who supplies rain, Lord Krishna here introduces a mechanistic theory of existence known as atheistic Sankhya. The tendency to attribute exclusive causality to the apparently mechanistic functions of nature is an old tendency indeed. 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna referred to a doctrine already well known in human society. So Krishna is trying to say, although it is atheistic philosophy, that on its own, everything is developed. Lord, passion, goodness, ignorance. So passion creates this universe, means the nature is in control of everything, not Lord, not God. Rajasacha udita megha varshanti ambuni sarvata prajastere siddhyanti mahindra kim karishati. Impelled by the material mode of passion, the clouds pour down their rain everywhere, and by this rain all creatures gain their sustenance. What has the great Indra to do with this arrangement? Lord Krishna continues his mechanistic explanation of existence, concluding, Mahindra kim karishyati. Who needs a great Indra? Since the rain sent by the clouds, which in turn are impelled by the mode of passion, is actually producing everyone's food. So basically he's saying there is no controller behind it. The word sarvata indicates that the clouds magnanimously send their rain even on the ocean, rocks, and barren land, where there is no apparent necessity for such sweet water. So it's only apparent. Necessity is everywhere. Na puro janapada, na grama, na griha vayam, vanokasastat sanityam, vanashana nivasina. My dear father, our home is not in the cities or towns or villages. Being forest dwellers, we always live in the forest and on the hills. Now he is coming to Govardhan Hill, talking all not so good philosophy, but then again the question arises, why he had to say all these philosophies? To bewilder the atheists. Those who are devotees, they understand, but those who are not, they will never get a chance to understand the why Krishna is saying that karma is pradhan or nature is pradhan instead of God is pradhan. But this is for the atheist. Lord Krishna here points out that the residents of Vrindavan should recognize their relationship with Govardhan Hill and with the forests of Vrindavan and not worry about a distant demigod like Indra. Having concluded his argument, Lord Krishna makes a radical proposal in the following verse. So he's saying we live in the forest and on the hills. So tasmad gavam brahmananam adresh chara bhyatam makha ya indrayaga sambharas taryam sadhyatam makha. Therefore may a sacrifice for the pleasure of the cows, the Brahmins, and the Govardhan hill begin. With all the paraphernalia collected for worshipping Indra, let this sacrifice be performed instead. So he's saying, let's not worship Indra. Everything is going to happen on its own. For us, we should worship Govardhan Hill, Brahmins, and the cows because they give us everything that we need. Lord Krishna is famous as Go Brahmana Hita, the well-wishing friend of the cows and the Brahmins. Lord Krishna specifically included the local Brahmins in his proposal because he is always devoted to those who are devoted to the godly Vedic culture. Pacyantam vividha paka supanta payasadaya sayava pushashkulya sarva dohishcha grihatam. Let many different kinds of food be cooked, from sweet rice to vegetable soups. Many kinds of fancy cakes, both baked and fried, should be prepared, and all the available milk products should be taken for this sacrifice. The word supa indicates bean broth and also liquid vegetables. Thus, to celebrate the Govardhan Puja, Lord Krishna called for hot preparations such as soup, cold preparations like sweet rice, and all types of milk products. So not good shlokas to read on Ekadashi Day when you're hungry and Krishna is talking about all the wonderful preparations. Hoyantam agneya samyak brahmanar brahmavadibhi annam bahugunam tebhyo deyam bodhenu dakshinam. The Brahmins who are learned in the Vedic mantras must properly invoke the sacrificial fires. Then you should feed the priests with nicely prepared food and reward them with cows and other gifts. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, Lord Krishna instructed his father and other residents of Vrindavan in the technical details of this Vedic sacrifice to assure the quality of the sacrifice and also to inspire Nanda and others with faith in the concept of such sacrifice. Thus, the Lord mentioned that there must be orthodox Brahmins, regular sacrificial fires, and proper distribution of charity. And things were to be done in the order given by the Lord. So he didn't want anything whimsical going on. He wanted everything to be done properly. Anyabhyashchashva chandala patitebhyo yatharhata yavasam cha gavam datva gere diyatam balihi. After giving the appropriate food to everyone else, including such fallen souls as dogs and dog eaters, you should give grass to the cows and then present your respectful offerings to Govardhan Hill. So he's saying, do the Make the offerings and offer them to Gordon Hill. And before that, give grass to the cows and feed everyone, dogs, dog eaters, everybody. Swalankrita bhaktavanta swanulipta suvasasa pradakshinam cha kuruta govi pranalaparvatan. After everyone has eaten to his satisfaction, you should all dress and decorate yourselves handsomely. Smear your bodies with sandalwood paste and then circumambulate the cows, the Brahmins, the sacrificial fires, and Govardhan Hill. Lord Krishna wanted all the human beings and even the animals to eat nice Bhagavad Prasadam, sanctified foods offered to the Lord. To enthuse his relatives with the festive mood, he requested them to dress beautifully with fine clothes and ornaments and to refresh their bodies with luxurious sandalwood paste. The essential activity, however, was the circumambulation of the holy Brahmins, cows, sacrificial fires, and especially Govardhan Hill. And somehow that day of Govardhan Puja, day after Diwali, of course, there are thousands and thousands of Brajvasis who come and perform the Govardhan Parikrama. and it's just a wonderful day, just very, very wonderful, very festive day that day over there. Everybody is enjoying, and there are so many places people give out free food. They offer it to Govardhan, and they have this pandal. Everybody who's doing parikrama, they can sit down and eat and then carry on with the parikrama. Etan mam matam tata kriyatam yadi rochate ayam go brahmana drinam ayam cha dayato makha. This is my idea, O Father, and you may carry it out if it appeals to you. Such a sacrifice will be very dear to the cows, the Brahmins, and Govardhan Hill, and also to me, Krishna says. Whatever is pleasing to the Brahmins, the cows, and the Supreme Lord himself is auspicious and beneficial for the entire world. Spiritually blind modern people do not understand this and instead adopt a scientific approach to life that is rapidly destroying the entire earth. The scientific approach is just for me. Whatever I do it for myself. But charity and pleasing the Supreme Lord by offering him everything. And this is what Bhagavad Gita says. Krishna has made all these arrangements since the beginning of creation. And he says in Bhagavad Gita that if you enjoy anything without offering it to the demigods in the sense because they're my representatives, so indirectly you should, or if directly we offer it to Krishna, otherwise we are called thieves. We will be considered as thieves. And if we offer it, yagyarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. If we offer it, then we become liberated, or we become eligible for liberation. Simple as that. And while offering, he says in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita that then the demigods will provide all the necessities. So see, the demigods are there as heads of different departments of the material universe. Indra is also in charge of rain. So the idea behind this whole creation is we should learn there's somebody higher than us, and we should make proper sacrifices, proper offerings. But here actually Indra was getting very proud, thinking that there's nobody above me. Krishna has already curbed the pride of Brahmaji, and now it's time for Indra. Shivji will come later. Yes, he does all this. Why? Because he has to teach everybody a lesson. Who is the Supreme Lord? Everybody has to understand and everybody has to follow. Although he doesn't, his management is not like like a slave and master management. It's all out of love. Even if he corrects his devotees who are demigods, he doesn't do it. He doesn't humiliate them. He does it out of love. But he has to do it. Shri Shukuvacha Kalatmana Bhagavata Shakradarpa Jighansaya Proktam Nishamya Nandadya Sadva Grinanta Tadvachaha. Shukdev Goswami said, Lord Krishna, who is himself powerful time, desired to destroy the false pride of Lord Indra. When Nanda and the other senior men of Vrindavan heard Shri Krishna's statement, they accepted his words as proper. तथा च वेदधू सर्वं यथा मधुसूदन वाचित्वा स्वस्त्यायनं तद् द्रवेण गिरिद्विजान् उपहृत्य वलीन् सम्यग् आदृता यवसं गवां गोधनानि पुरस्कृत्य गिरिं चक्रुः प्रदक्षिणम्. The cowherd community then did all that Madhusudan had suggested. They arranged for the Brahmins to recite the auspicious Vedic mantras, and using the paraphernalia that had been intended for Indra's sacrifice, they presented offerings to Govardhan Hill and the Brahmins with reverential respect. They also gave grass to the cows. Then placing the cows, bulls, and calves in front of them, they circumambulated Govardhan. Giraj Maharaj Ki Jai. The residents of Vrindavan were simply devoted to Lord Krishna. That was the sum and substance of their existence. So whatever Krishna says, we'll just do it. Being the Lord's eternal associates, they were ultimately not concerned with Lord Indra or ritualistic sacrifice. And they were certainly not interested in the mechanistic philosophy that Krishna had just spoken to them. They simply loved Krishna, and out of intense affection, they did exactly what he had requested. Their simple loving mentality was not small-mindedness or ignorance, since they were devoted to the supreme absolute truth, who contains within himself all existence. Thus, the residents of Vrindavan constantly experience the highest essential truth underlying all other truths, and that is Shri Krishna himself, the cause of all causes and that which sustains the existence of all that exists. The residents of Vrindavan were overwhelmed in loving service to that supreme absolute truth. Therefore, they were the most fortunate, most intelligent, most pragmatic of all living beings, because they were completely devoted to Krishna. Whatever Krishna said, they're just ready to do it. Anasayan duktani te charuya svalankrita gopyascha Krishna viryani gayantya sad vijashisha. As the beautifully ornamented cowherd ladies followed along, riding on wagons drawn by oxen, they sang the glories of Lord Krishna, and their songs mingled with the Brahmins' chanting of benedictions. Krishna stvanya-tamam rupam gopa vishrambhanam gataha shalo asmiti bruvan bhuri balim adad brihad vapuhu. Krishna then assumed an unprecedented, huge form to instill faith in the cowherd men. Declaring, I am Govardhan mountain, he ate the abundant offerings. Wow. So here Krishna was there after Parikrama, or before Parikrama they made the offering. So he was there with the Gopas, Nanda Baba, and everybody was there making the offering to Giriraji. And this is, they did it at the village called Anyor. So Anyor is a place they did this offering. And then to Giriraji they were offering, and Krishna appeared as Giriraji, huge Giriraji, with a, like, I am Govardhan mountain, he was saying, and he accepted the offer. In chapter 24 of Krishna book, Prabhupada writes, when everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental form and declared to the inhabitants of Vrindavan that he was himself Govardhan Hill, in order to convince the devotees that Govardhan Hill and Krishna are identical. Then Krishna began to eat all the food offered there. The identity of Krishna and Govardhan Hill is still honored, and great devotees take rocks from Govardhan Hill and worship them exactly as they worship the deity of Krishna in the temples. The followers of Krishna consciousness movement may therefore collect small rocks or pebbles from Govardhan Hill and worship them at home because this worship is as good as deity worship. But no. So we don't take those rocks on our own. We take those rocks if some Brajvasi gives us. Otherwise, no. Because Giriraji doesn't like to be outside Braj. And if we steal the rock or just take them away, if okay, I like this rock and I can take and worship, then if he doesn't like, it's all up to him. If he doesn't like, he can create havoc in our lives. I personally know some devotees in Ludhiana. They took the rocks from Govardhan without asking anybody, and problems started in their homes. And when they asked me, I said, "Why did you take the Giriraj Shila without asking, without any permission?" So I said, "Go back right now. Take the bus, take the train, go to Govardhan, put the rock back, beg for forgiveness, do some kirtan over there, and then come back. Do the parikrama and then come back." And then really it happened that they were okay. Then everything in the house was okay. It's not that they're not devotees or they're not whatever. It's up to Giriraj, whatever he likes. That's all. So you got to be careful. Lord Krishna had induced the residents of Vrindavan to assume a significant risk on his behalf. He convinced them to neglect a sacrifice to what is, after all, the powerful government of the universe, and to worship a hill called Govardhan instead. The cowherd community did all this simply out of love for Krishna. Now, to convince them that their decision was correct, Lord Krishna appeared in an unprecedented, huge, transcendental form and demonstrated that he himself was Govardhan Hill. So it's not different. तस्मै नमो व्रजजने सहचक्र आत्मनात्मने अहो पश्यत शैलोऽसौ रूपी नो अनुगृहं विधा. Together with the people of Raj, the Lord bowed down to this form of Govardhan Hill, thus in effect offering obeisances to himself. Then he said, "Just see how this hill has appeared in person and bestowed mercy upon us." It's clear from this verse that Lord Krishna had expanded himself and was appearing in his normal form among the festival goers of Vrindavan, while simultaneously manifesting himself as a great form of Govardhan Hill. Then in his form as a child, Krishna led the residents of Vrindavan in bowing down to his new incarnation as Govardhan Hill. And to all he pointed out the great mercy bestowed by this divine form of Govardhan. Lord Krishna's amazing transcendental activities were certainly in keeping with the festive atmosphere. Esho avajanato martyan kamrupi vanokasah hanti hi asmai namasyamaha sharmane atmano gavam. This Govardhan Hill, assuming any form he wishes, will kill any residents of the forest who neglect him. Therefore, let us pay our obeisances to him for the safety of ourselves and our cows. Oh, of course, Govardhan, Giriraj doesn't kill anybody who neglects him, even if they neglect him. But this is what Krishna is trying to tell everybody, that we should pay obeisances to him for our safety and our cow's safety. Kamrupi indicates that the form of Govardhan can manifest as poisonous snakes, wild animals, falling rocks, and so on, all of which are competent to kill a human being. So there could be poisonous snakes if we don't pay obeisances. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, the Lord presented 6 theoretical points in this chapter. First, karma alone is sufficient to determine one's destiny. Second, that one's conditioned nature is a supreme controller. 3, that the modes of nature are the supreme controller. 4, that the Supreme Lord is simply a dependent aspect of karma. 5, that he is under the control of karma, and that 6, that one's occupation is the actual worshipable deity. So they're all wrong philosophies he gave. Lord presented these arguments not because he believed them, but rather because he wanted to stop the impending sacrifice to Indra and divert it to himself in the form of Govardhan hill. In this way, the Lord desired to agitate that falsely proud demigod. Iti adrigod vijmakam vasudeva prachodita yatha vithaya te gopa sah Krishna vrajam yayu. The members of the cowherd community, having thus been inspired by Lord Vasudeva to properly execute the sacrifice to Govardhan hill, the cows and the Brahmins returned with Lord Krishna to their village, Braja. Although the Govardhan Puja was performed in a blissful and successful way, the matter was hardly finished. Lord Indra is, after all, tremendously powerful, and he received the news of the Govardhan sacrifice with burning anger. What ensued will be described in the following chapter. So he got very angry. So thus ends the purpose to 10th canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Worshipping Govardhan Hill. So we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, what is Chaturangani Sena? Is it from all sides the troops are coming? That's why they're called Chaturangani?
In Ramayana serial, they use this word again and again, right?
Yes.
Amrish
was asking in the morning. He was reading Ramcharitmanas, so he asked me that question.
What I have understood, it means 4 kinds of warriors. Means those who are on foot, those who are on horses, chariots, and elephants. So Chatur Anga,
okay.
4 Angas.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll just let him know about it.
Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.